Welcome to lesson 2 of Algebra 1/2. Yes, I know, I'm wearing the same shirt, which means I filled it on the same day as lesson 1. Not that I'm wearing a dirty shirt, okay? I'm watching what you think. Okay, don't you worry. Alright, so today we're talking about number lines, ordering our numbers in numerical order, as well as rounding. Okay, so a number line is something that helps us to understand where numbers are in their order. This particular number line is a number array because we're only showing one side of it. And we typically start at 0, not always, typically start at 0, and then we know that our numbers keep going in an infinite direction. So this puts it in order from the smallest to the largest. Now if I want to show where a number is on this particular number line, for example, right here I have the number 5. I can graph this number on the number line. That word, graph. So to graph it, I put a point right where that number should be. So I'm going to put a dot right there. That's my graph of 5 on the number line. So the number that's associated with that little dot there, which is what the graph is that dot. The number, in this case 5, is the coordinate. Okay, can you see that word? Coordinate. C-O-O-R-D-I-N-A-T-E. Oh, that reminds me. If you don't have your book out, open to lesson number 2. Please pause the video right now and go do that. Okay, great. Oh, and you should have a pencil and a piece of paper. Okay, cool. So now we're going to move on. We're going to put all these numbers in order on the number line. So here I have 5 in order where it should be. Now I want to graph. So I've got 5. I don't need to put a number there because it's right on that tick mark, so I know it goes with 5. Well, now I also want to put 14, 17, 2, and 6 in their order on the number line. Well, 2, there is no specific mark on here, so I need to just estimate. I need to kind of guess where it should go. Well, 2 is not quite in the middle between 0 and 5, but it's very close. So I put it somewhere around there. And then I'll just put the number 2 to show that that's what it stands for. So here's my graph and my coordinate. So I've just done 2. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back and do them in order that they're written on the board. 14. Well here, this is 15 and 10. So it's going to be in between the 2, closer to the 15. So I'll put it right about there and say that that's 14. Now I have 17. Okay? Not quite in between 15 and 20, but very close. So I'll put it right about there. And now I need to do 6. Well, that is right after 5. So right about there. Now I've graphed all of my numbers on a number line, which you will be asked to do on your homework. Now this is not something that you can check, so you're going to have to do these twice. Okay? Alright, now with a number line, it's easy to arrange things in order from least to greatest. Now, look at your book at example 2.2. This is not something I put on the board, but I just want to draw your attention to it. It says arrange the following numbers in order from least to greatest. 465, 654, 456, 564. Well, the smallest number is the number with the smallest first digit. And by first, I mean the one farthest to the left. Okay, so in this one, you have 2 with that smallest digit, 4. 465 or 456. Well, to determine which one is smaller, you go to the very next number. The very next digit is the tens place. You have 6 in one of them and 5 in the other. Well, 5 is smaller than 6, so 456 is smaller than 465. So 456 is first, then 465. Then we go back to looking at the number in the hundreds place. 564 is the next smallest number, then 654. Okay, so that's arranging in order from least to greatest. Again, this is not something that you have a check for. You have to do it twice. Actually do it twice, because if you just copy your answer over, you might do something wrong, and it might just be a silly mistake. But if you're just copying the numbers, you won't catch your mistake, and you'll get your problem wrong. If you get too many problems wrong, you have to redo everything. So the less you get wrong the first time, the better. So do your very best to make sure you get it done right. All right, now let's talk about rounding. If I have a number line like this, and I say that a farmer says that it's 209 yards to his barn, that would be on our number line right about here in between 200 and 300. If he wants to estimate and not say specifically how far, what's it closer to? The 200 or the 300? And it's way closer to the 200. So he'd say it's about 200 yards to his barn. Well, what about if the number is, let's look at this number line, 246 yards to his barn? Well, that's pretty close to the middle, but not quite. It's a little closer to 250. So he might round and say it's about 250 yards to my barn. Well, how does the farmer know where to round it to? Well, there are some rules that we follow. Two basic rules, okay? So let's look at this number here. 24,374. I want to round this number to the nearest thousands place. So I'm going to underline my number that's in the thousands place because that's the number that I want to round. To know what to do with the number, I have to look at the number right behind it, which in this case is a 3. That number tells me what to do. If that number is 4 or less, keep it the same. If that number is 5 or greater, round up. Okay? Let's try it again. If that number is 4 or less, keep it the same. If it's 5 or greater, round up. 4 or less, keep it the same. 5 or greater, round up. So 3, is that 4 or less or 5 or greater? 4 or less. So we keep it the same and it becomes 24,000.